All right, Lexie, I am going to shuffle and get started. So we're going to do job, lover, Kevin, right? And license, driver's license, car. So we're going to pull cards. I'm going to do 3-card pulls on each, and we'll get to it. Thank you for reaching out. I appreciate it so much. And what I'll do is I'll hold up the cards so you can see, and then I will kind of do a pan of the actual spread so you can see. Okay, so first we're going to focus on job, because I know you had a concern whether you should keep doing what you're doing or factory. I don't know, I'm assuming, I think you had said it was retail. So let's ask that first. That was the first one that's forefront on your mind. So we will divine with that. And I do believe you're a Taurus, right? I could have asked you again, but I think I already knew. So, okay, so I'm going to cut the deck towards me. And, okay. So we're going to do situation, action, outcome. Okay, so this is kind of asking the question of job. So you can kind of see in the situation we have the Magician, in the action we have the 8 of Cups, and in the outcome we have the 5 of Swords. So a couple different things that come to mind. So when we look at the situation, we have the Magician. So the Magician is manifesting what you want. So in other words, I hate to say, like, the universe is saying, I don't know, what do you want? Do you want to go back into retail or food service? I think you're in retail. Do you want to go back to that? Or do you want to go back to factory work? It's kind of asking you, what do you want to manifest? What is your goal? Where do you make the most money? Where do you find that you're going to, I mean, we could say where you're happiest, but I almost feel like it's more about what's going to make you feel more financially stable. And then the action is the 8 of Cups reversed. And the 8 of Cups in the reversed is emotional growth, emotional maturity. Not going back to something that you knew emotionally was not, it was very upsetting. Now, I get that sometimes for money we do things that we're not excited about. We have to go back to jobs or situations that we don't like. But I look at the 8 of Cups, and, you know, there's going to be a particular scenario here where it's just emotionally trying for you to go back to. So whatever that is, whether that is the factory or the retail, one of them is harder than the other for you, I would say emotionally, or you just feel it's just more difficult. And your outcome is the 5 of Swords. So this is conflict resolution. This is conflict. This is also a card of surrender. It's, again, figuring out which one that you feel more stable, that you feel that you can thrive the most. Now, again, I know that you're not excited probably about either options, but I think you definitely have to think about monetarily, which is the smarter one. I'm going to pull some clarifiers and see what we get. So we have the 7 of Pentacles, the potential for success, the 10 of Wands, the least burden, and to go with that. So pretty clear, and I'm going to show you these. In your situation, you have the 7 of Pentacles that is talking about or clarifying the Magician, which I'll get to. We have the action of the 10 of Wands that's clarifying the 8 of Cups in reverse. And then we have the Ace of Wands, which is a brand new beginning. I do love that brand new beginning, okay? But it's up to you, right? So when we talk about the action, again, first we have the Magician, manifesting what it is that you want. And this could be a means to an end. Let's say you have bigger goals. Which job is going to feel like more lucrative? And we have the 7 of Pentacles. Which job, it's the card of reaping what you sow. Which job is going to feel like you have the potential for success? That you can build, you can plant some seeds and build upon those seeds and tend that garden. This is something that, you know, is a little bit more long-term. I want you to start thinking a little bit more long-term goals. And then the action, remember we have the 8 of Cups in reverse, something that whichever one is, I don't want to say less traumatizing, but whichever one is less emotionally taxing and stressful, that's the one you need to go with. And I'm leaning a little bit more towards factory, but I don't know if that's right or not. Because, and I'm saying that because of the Ace of Wands, but so the Ten of Wands is, again, which job is going to make you feel less burdened? Which job can you do what you need to do, punch out, go home? That's what I'm saying. You know, what's the job that you can make more money, less burden, more money, less stress, even more money, less hours, and then your outcome, again, we're talking about, you know, the five of swords, which is kind of this conflict resolution. It's kind of surrendering of like, well, I could do this, but I probably should do that. Or if I do that, then, you know, you have to really weigh your options. But I do feel that there's one that's better than the other. For some reason, I'm leaning towards factory because I feel like with factory, you can kind of punch a clock, go to your station, go home. Well, if you're doing any kind of retail, if you're dealing with the public, that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing. I'm not saying that, you know, I just feel like, yeah. And then you have the Ace of Wands, which is, Ace of Wands is fire, Leo, Sag, Aries energy. It's like, once you figure it out, full steam ahead. I like the Ace of Wands. There is this brand new beginning coming for you. You just have to resolve what it is that you think, you know, you want to do. I mean, that's the thing about swords. It's about communication. You have to communicate with yourself and then with the universe of like, okay, I think that I'm going to have a better time of this. Now, there could be a situation where, you know, the economy is not great. And so this might be a situation where you're just going to have to get out there and, you know, I don't want to say take whatever you can get. That's not really what I mean, but you're going to have to kind of see what's available, what's out there. But I do feel that, you know, even though factory work is grueling, they have a tendency to pay a little bit higher for different shifts. That's just my opinion. But again, I feel like for you, you have goals, you have things that you want to do. And this Ace of Wands is like, this is a means to an end. And so, and it's also kind of telling me that there's something coming quicker rather than later. Let's see what your obstacle is, or your challenge. So your challenge is the Seven of Swords. So this is the card that comes a couple after the Five of Swords. Seven of Swords is to be open and honest with yourself. You know, both jobs are probably, both career paths are probably going to be, there's going to be difficulties in both. There's going to be difficulties in, you know, maybe scheduling, especially if you're new at a position. Sometimes you get the crappier shifts. So when I look at this Seven of Swords, you just have to be prepared to compromise. I mean, there's just no doubt. There's no doubt about it with the Seven of Swords. It's a tactical card, so you want to make sure you get yourself out there sooner rather than later. If you just lost your job, which I think you have, you don't want to wait. Like, oh, I have another 2 weeks of pay coming. Now's the time. This Seven of Swords is like strike when the iron's hot, because I do show that something's coming. You just have to decide. And really, you can even look at the Five of Swords as putting yourself out there. Putting out resume, even if it's kind of like stressful, even if there's a lot of competition, even if you're just like, I don't know if I really want to work here. You have to put yourself out there. All right, so I'm going to pause this and shuffle, and then we're going to tackle your love life.